How can I write an equation in the form y equals mx plus b for a line on a graph? So we first want to talk about the form y equals mx plus b. That's what we call standard form of a linear equation, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. And in this case, we're specifically looking at the idea of if I have a graph, how can I turn that into an equation? We want to be able to go back and forth. We want to be able to graph an equation. We want to be able to look at a graph and pull the equation. We also want to be able to put, this is not called standard form. I misspoke. We want to be able to take an equation that's in what we call standard form and put that into what this is called, which is slope-intercept form. Anyways, we want to take slope-intercept form and graph it and also take it off a graph and write the equation. So here's a graph, right? How do I write y equals mx plus b based on this graph? So first I find my y-intercept, and it is right here at 0, 20. So y equals mx plus 20, all right? Then I need to find another coordinate, which is going to be 14 and 1, so it'll be 1 comma 14, right? And this is 0 comma 20. So I take these two coordinates, I determine the slope, change in y over change in x. So my change in y would be from 14 to 20. This is important because the slope is going down, which means we should have a negative m value or a negative slope. So 14 minus 20 over 1 minus 0. So change in y, change in x. This is negative 6 over 1. So my slope equals negative 6. Now my equation becomes y equals negative 6 times x plus 20. And that's the equation for the line. You just need to have 2 points and the y-intercept, and that's all you're going to need to be able to do for this. So that's how you take a graph, write an equation in y equals mx plus b form. Sometimes we have an equation in standard form, and we need to get to slope-intercept form. So standard form, basically you have ax plus by, capital A and capital B, and you have to turn this into slope-intercept form. How do I do that? It's the same algebraic principles that we've learned before with just doing inverse operations, except we're essentially solving for y. What does y equal? We want to get down so we can say y equals something mx plus b, something x plus something else. So to start, I want to get y by itself, so I'm going to take 6x from both sides. That eliminates x from the left and leaves me with 3y. And that gives me negative 6x plus 3. I can't actually do 3 minus 6x, so I can't combine those. So I write them out in a linear fashion. And now I have to divide by 3, and I have to divide both sides. So I either do both terms divided by 3 or the whole side divided by 3. To solve this and simplify it, you kind of do each term divided by 3. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2x, plus 3 divided by 3 is 1. So y equals negative 2x plus 1. That's how you would take an equation that is in standard form and get it to slope-intercept form. Now from here, we can easily graph it. So how do I graph this? The y-intercept is 1. So I put that point. The slope is negative 2. That means my rise is negative 2, so I go down 2. And my run is 1, so I go over 1. So I go down 2, 1, 2, over 1. And I put my second point. Now I would get a straight edge and literally just use this, or you can just sketch it depending on how accurate you have to be. And I can use this to draw a straight line through there. As long as it goes through both points, it's the right line. Ta-da! And that's it. All right. How can I write an equation in the form y equals mx plus b for a line on a graph?